I began this channel on December 19th, 2019 to talk about the Gerrit Cole signing. And now 500 videos later, I'm still very excited about Gerrit Cole and what he brings to this team. He's had so many great moments from his first start right after COVID last year in Washington, to his great playoff performance against the Indians where he struck out 13 batters, to this Saturday where he outdueled Shane Bieber once again, and man, he was amped up after the game.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday. 500 videos on this channel. I can't believe it. Thanks so much for all your support. It means a lot. Tough day for the Yankees yesterday in Cleveland, but given the way that they were playing going into the weekend, having just an atrocious performance in New York, I think most fans, myself included, would have signed up for 3 out of 4 wins. On Thursday night, we saw more positive signs from the team as they began to come out of their offensive funk. Domingo Germán pitched 6 pretty good innings. Kyle Higashioka went deep, and Rougned Odor picked up a key hit late in the game to help the Yankees stop the bleeding. On Friday, the Yankees made it 2 straight and 3 out of 4 on the bats of Aaron Hicks, Rougned Odor, and Giancarlo Stanton, and then Giancarlo Stanton again. And then on Saturday, my favorite game of the series, Gerrit Cole struck out 11 Indians and outdueled the 2020 Cy Young Award winner Shane Bieber, as Aaron Hicks and Rougned Odor both went deep for the second straight day. And then finally on Sunday, the Yankees coughed up a 3-0 lead and the sweep as Jasson Dominugez struggled in the fourth after 3 very sharp innings. My main takeaways from this weekend: Aaron Hicks starting to get his swing back. Now, he did miss yesterday's game with a little bit of back tightness. Hopefully that doesn't set his swing back too much. I'm confident that he's starting to come out of it. Rougned Odor is changing my initial opinion on him in a positive way. He's brought a ton of energy. He's had a number of clutch hits and clutch plays in the field. Gerrit Cole has a real chance to be a Cy Young Award winner this year. He's off to a great start, just dominating, getting better every single time out. Love how much he's mixing the changeup. Fastball is already at 100, and we're not even in the hot weather yet. He really is having a great season. Aroldis Chapman is the best I've seen him since he's joined the Yankees. I didn't watch him that much when he was with the Reds. I know he was throwing a lot harder back then, but he's added that splitter, and he's basically untouchable. And Jasson Dominugez and Clint Frazier continue to struggle, despite some positive signs. Jasson Dominugez had 3 pretty sharp innings, and Clint Frazier has had some good at-bats, but ultimately the results were not there for either of them. For Clint Frazier, the most positive signs so far have been his defense. His defense has been really good in left field. He's made 2 diving catches, made a really good diving catch on Sunday. One of the best catches I've ever seen, frankly. But his offense has not been what Yankees fans had expected. A lot of fans, myself included, thought that Clint Frazier was going to break out after his really good 2020 showing and have a monster year. But he's gotten off to a really bad start. I don't think it's a talent issue. I see a lot of people saying Clint Frazier sucks. Let's get rid of Clint Frazier. But I don't share that opinion. He's just going through an especially bad stretch right now. And look, not all slumps are created equal, and he's in an especially bad one. And slow starts are the worst kind of slump you can have, because if you're someone who cares about your own numbers, as most baseball players do, baseball's a game of numbers, you don't have that foundation of production to fall back on and balance out your slump, so it just looks like your numbers are terrible, and frankly, they are terrible. He did draw a couple of walks. He did hit a really long fly ball to center field that on a warmer night is probably a home run. So I do think he's coming out of it, albeit slowly. They're going to Camden Yards, where you might remember he had a big series a couple of years ago. He had that big late home run to change the tide for a Yankees victory. He hit a home run the next day to center field. So I think Clint Frazier has a chance to get hot in Baltimore. It's a hitter's park. It's warming up a little bit. Baltimore doesn't have great pitching. They do have John Means, who's leading the league in ERA, but I don't think the Yankees are going to see him until the final game of the series, if at all. So hopefully Clint Frazier can break out. Fingers crossed. Deivi Garcia was one of my favorite parts about the 2020 season. I always love it when the Yankees call up a young gun from the minor leagues who comes up and pitches well. He didn't show any fear. He had a ton of poise on the mound. He didn't throw quite as hard as he did as a prospect, but his command was better. So maybe he traded off a little bit of velocity for a little bit of command. We saw a lot of pop-ups from hitters because he gets a lot of late life on his fastball. Late movement up in the zone. And if he comes in and pitches well, he might get another shot, but it seems like the Yankees are just kind of inserting him as the number 6 starter to give everybody else a day off. If he pitches really well, yes, you may see him get another start. If he doesn't, you'll probably see him go directly back down to AAA, and the Yankees would call up Mike King, who's pitched so well in relief. Honestly, that might happen anyway. Mike King is very deserving of a bullpen spot. And Nicknelson was absolutely atrocious yesterday. He got sent back down to AAA. I still have faith in Nicknelson as a prospect. Again, I don't like it when a pitcher pitches bad or a player plays bad and the entire fan base says, this guy sucks, get him out of here. It's a process. It's a learning process. This guy's young. He's going to get better. He's going to learn to command the baseball. Right now, the problem is just his location. He's got all the stuff. He just needs a few tweaks. He might need to sacrifice a little bit of velocity to pitch with better command, but he's got the stuff, and he's going to be fine. Just needs a little bit more time in the minor leagues. That is clear. I've got 2 candidates to have big series in Baltimore. The first is Gio Urshela. He had a home run yesterday. He had a home run against Atlanta last week. I feel like he's starting to slowly come out of it. He's having better at-bats. He's going to center field and to right field, and that's his strength. He's not a guy who's going to try and pull the ball every time. He's kind of an all-field hitter. He typically hits for a high average, but it hasn't yet this year. But the fact that he's having better swings, hitting for the power, I feel like the ropes are going to start to come. The laser show. Look for Gio Urshela to turn it on really quickly. I think he's going to have a really good series in Baltimore. My other candidate for a big series is Giancarlo Stanton. I just think that man in that ballpark is a recipe for lots and lots of damage. He's currently leading the team with 5 home runs. He's got 14 RBIs, but he is just 13 for 70. That's a 186 batting average. He's got a 250 on-base percentage, so he's not walking enough either. 664 OPS. But if you look at the back of his baseball card, he's got a 901 career OPS. So the man can hit, the man can get on base, and the man can do damage. So if we're just patient with him and don't crucify him every time he has a bad game, I think he'll come out of it. And I think he's coming out of it because of how hard he's been hitting the baseball. Yesterday, he's using the whole field. He hits 2 balls to the right side. One of them is the hardest hit ball in baseball this year, 120.1 miles an hour off the bat. And look, it was a single. I get it. A lot of people don't get too excited about singles, but you can't rip the guy for hitting only home runs and then also rip him when he hits a single. You can't have it both ways. I thought it was a really nice and really important piece of hitting for Giancarlo Stanton to hit the ball to right field. He also hit one to the right side that got snagged by the first baseman later in the game. So Giancarlo is taking the right approach. He's not trying to pull everything in the seats. He's coming out of it, and I think he's very, very due, and he's going to have a big series in Baltimore. It's also telling that the Yankees moved him to the number 2 spot right in front of Aaron Judge. Anybody who's interested in that should go back and watch the movie 61 about Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle. About a quarter of the way through the season, the Yankees moved Roger Maris in front of Mickey Mantle, and that really got Roger Maris jump-started, gave him protection. I think the same thing might be true of Giancarlo Stanton. If you look at Aaron Judge's numbers, they're not crazy good, but he's still hitting the ball very hard according to Baseball Savant. He's just not driving it in the air as much. That's gonna happen. And he still brings a lot of fear even when he's not hitting. So you're giving Giancarlo some protection. Should be a really good move for the Yankees. I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys can break out once they get hot at the same time, which we really haven't seen since Giancarlo joined the Yankees.